Hello, everyone. This is Caroline, and today is May 12, 2013. It is Mother's Day, and as I was saying, to me, every day is Mother's Day. Every day is Father's Day. Every day is Earth Day. We are just focusing our attention today on the concept of being a mom, I suppose, and honoring that. So let's begin by bringing lots of love to the moms, especially, but honestly, to all of humanity. That is why we are here. That is why I am here with you today. So let's focus our intent on simply the consciousness, the frequency of love as we come together on this day. So I want to do a little bit of an intro here, address a couple of points, and then get into a guided exercise, of course, a meditation, experiential meditation, to bring more deeply into ourselves the consciousness of unconditional love, and to shift to the few things that may still be troubling us on this day. So I want to talk a little bit about perception and perspective, because I'm still getting emails from you guys saying, okay, I'm still having this problem, this issue, pain in my body, or my boyfriend left me, or I don't have money, or this and that. You know, the typical human stuff. So I want to bring to your attention the understanding of what perception is and how it is playing a role in what is happening to you right now. So I want you to take a moment and focus on the one thing that is still bugging you, okay? So let's say you are still having some physical issues, or you're struggling with some money issues or boyfriend issues or what have you. Focus on this one thing for just a moment. Just one thing, okay? I know there could be more than one, but just for now, let's focus on this one thing, and just imagine that before you came into this physical form, you have chosen this experience for one reason or another. So imagine that there are two of you. One of you is the one that's sitting now in a chair in this physical body, and another one of you is the one that is pure consciousness. Imagine that it's sitting somewhere in the sky, okay, in spirit form. And the one that is in space and in the sky, what have you, that is pure consciousness, allowed or created this physical being that is you on the earth to appear in this form and have a whole story, a bunch of experiences, one after another. And so today, for some reason, this human you is having this experience of body pain, or not having money, or having been left by someone they loved, or what have you. So if you were to look at what is happening to you or for you right now as a simple experience, meaning just one tiny chapter, maybe not even a chapter, maybe a page or a couple of pages of a chapter in the story that you wrote, you will realize that it is simply part of a much bigger picture. And at least that should allow you to shift your perspective on what is happening. Because you see, if you are saying, okay, how come I still have those headaches? How come I still have the same issue with money? How come I still have this and this and that? This implies that what is happening to you is happening to you. You have not created it. You have not written it in your story. You actually are realizing that that's the way things are for you, and you are giving your power away to that experience, because you're saying, hey, it is happening to me, you see. And right there, you forget that you are not the one that is the author of your story. You become completely powerless. And this is where you get stuck. That's why this particular issue remains. That's why this particular issue comes back. That's why you cannot see the source or the root cause of it. And that's why you still think that it's still happening due to an outside source. So the first thing to come out of this vicious circle, if you will, is to shift your perception about what is happening for you right this moment, this thing that you're looking at right now. Look at like I said, the recurrent headache or whatever. Put it in a bubble in front of you for just a moment. Imagine that this bubble in front of you contains that problem, mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever it is that you want to call it. Put it in a bubble, and like I said, just put one for now. And as you look at it, honestly, really, 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 can you say, can this thing in the bubble take over your life the way it is doing right now? Can this thing in the bubble make you so powerless and so confused that you can't even tell how to get out of it, where it came from, why it is the way it is, and more importantly, why it keeps coming back and why it's still there, you see? Can you honestly say that this thing in the bubble is that powerful? It doesn't make sense. You see, it's all a question of perception and perspective. If your perspective were that you have simply written a story, and this bubble happens to be part of the story just so that you have an experience. So you will say, okay, this sounds okay, but why would I ever have an experience of this magnitude or of something like that? That is because all your life you never looked at it as an experience, and this bubble is adding up to more bubbles and more bubbles and more bubbles that you can't even see clearly what the story was about. You are now in the bubble took over your entire life, and you can't tell who's doing what, who started. Did you create? Did it create you? Did it take over you? It's a big mess. So you have to remember, regardless of what your experience is right now, how difficult it may be, how huge it may be, it may appear, it does not mean that you cannot change it. You can change it at any moment in time because you wrote it. You chose it. And so it's okay. You probably chose when you were looking down at your physical body from the sky, from space or whatever. And you said, okay, I'm going to go down to the earth and hold this physical body. I never held the physical body in this shape or form. This will be my first time in this expression. So I'm going to choose to have a little bit of pain just to know what it feels like to have bodily pain, because in spirit form, this doesn't exist. I don't have bodily pain. I'm going to experience what it's like to have a strong, loving relationship with others and then have those people leave my life. I'm going to go through the experience of not having any material support just to know what that feels like. You see, it sounds crazy, but from up there, from the spirit aspect of you, you want to know what it's about to have these human experiences. So you have these human experiences only to experience them and to have a choice and to get on with it, to move on, to make a decision and improve your human experience. But we are still getting stuck. So the first thing is to shift your perception, to make it look and appear as the truth, which is an experience that you have written as part of a bigger story, but something much, much, much more important. that is happening right now. That is actually the subject of the seminars that I'm teaching. And in addition to the perception, the confusion about the perception and the perspective of the experience, the other more important thing that is happening is on the cellular functioning of your brain. You see, what happens is that when you have an experience, when you perceive something, anything, you are perceiving this bubble now that contains the problem, right? So what is happening is that on a cellular level, your brain is triggering memory cells that are interacting together and creating thought forms. So these thought forms are making you decide what this experience should be. So because you don't understand or you don't think about all of this cellular process that happens inside your brain, you don't know how these thoughts are generated and created and adding to the experience and making you continuously think that this experience is real. In other words, it's feeding this experience more similar electrical charges, meaning similar thoughts, and you get stuck in this pattern. So this means that I am observing this bubble, this issue. I cannot shift my perception, my perspective, this one thing. And the second thing, I have on a subatomic level, on a cellular level, my brain is triggering a chemical and electrical charges that are making my perception even more false, you see. So this is what I want to, that's why we call your perception an illusion, because it's the chemical and the electrical wiring of your brain, meaning the old paradigm, the way we have been trained to look at and interpret our experiences, is to remain stuck within them, you see? And so if you understand how your brain is functioning and how this chemistry and the electrical wiring is generating thoughts that are simply adding and making your experience that much worse, then you can change it. You can do something about it. So this is a whole presentation. I can't talk about this in the scope of this webcast, but that is what I'm teaching in the upcoming seminars. So for those who are in the Netherlands, who are in Europe, I highly encourage you to come, just take this day to understand how your thoughts are generated on an atomic cellular level. Because if you understand that part, then you can change it. You will understand that the cellular memory is keeping your thoughts stuck in a cycle, so that you're going over and over and over around the same thoughts. And that is the other very important reason why you are still stuck with these experiences and why it's hard for you to shift. So from a cognitive psychological point of view, shifting your perspective is one thing. And then understanding the mechanics of your brain regarding the cellular memory and how your thoughts are generated and keep going in circle is another thing. Like I said, I highly encourage you to go to these classes to understand just that much, because that is the fundamental problem. If your brain is functioning a certain way, then everything that follows will be dependent on that. So you don't change the circumstances. You don't wait for the boyfriend to come back, or for the knee to heal, or the head to heal, or for somebody to give you money, or for the government to change, or for this or that. You don't wait for anything outside of you. You are the creator. You create from your thoughts, your mind, your consciousness, and your cells that create your thoughts are responsible for this experience, for this perception. So you change the aspect of you at a cellular level, and that is how you will finally free yourself from this vicious circle, okay? I hope this is making sense and is helping. So in the meantime, while this is what we're going to do today, we're going to address whatever it is that we are going through right now. And it doesn't have to be something major. If we have something major, fine, we'll put it in a bubble. But if it's just a confusion or what have you, then we will also address that. And the idea is to reclaim your power. The moment you say, I don't have money because the economy is bad, just right there, you're stuck. You gave away your power to something outside of you. Are you going to tell me that you have to wait for all the governments on the earth and all the people that are, in the corporate world, whatever, to evolve and to change, and in order for you to have a job, to have money, and then this is going to work, you're going to feel good? It doesn't make any sense. In fact, there are people who are doing perfectly fine. So we cannot say that we have this bubble, we're stuck with this bubble because of something else outside of us. So if you give your power away, then also you will not have the opportunity to change your own cellular functioning. So that's what I want you to try to work through today. We're going to do an experiential meditation that will help you to facilitate the shifting of that perception. Looking at whatever problem you have and putting it in a perspective of your bigger story, looking at it as an experience that you chose for you to understand how life on earth could be, what it's like to have this and this experience, but more importantly, to choose something that you like. When was the last time that you said, oh, okay, so what is happening to me is an experience. It's an experience that I chose to have, So when was the last time that you say, okay, I don't want it. I don't want this experience. Looking at it from the perspective that you wrote, that experience in your story. So we're going to do a little bit of guided exercise to allow you to shift that perspective, that perception, much easier, much faster. This happens by raising your vibration to do a little bit of reprogramming. And then we're going to also help with a little bit of the other part that I mentioned, which is the chemical and the electrical generation of thoughts and the cellular memory. Like I said, this is a huge topic. We cannot work through it. Through all of it until you understand the mechanics. But we will begin this work in this guided meditation, and so let's go. Let's begin now. Do you have any quick questions before I begin? So Paula is asking, is it possible that this is not the correct timing to heal the problem yet? Is possible that I chose to have this problem for this long? Okay, there's a timing issue that's also a belief system, and I think I addressed that many times. We are wanting this experience for a certain time, but we are at a different, also global timing for the earth. We have started a new paradigm shift. I talked about this in the previous webcast, and I explained that since last year, actually, there are new energies supporting us to have immediate shifts, immediate connections, immediate healing. And so all of this is almost not relevant anymore. I think moving forward, we should be able to look at whatever experience it is and say, I don't want it anymore. I'm finished with this chapter, and it should right there immediately shift. And not come back. So that's kind of what I want to bring to your attention, and to tell you, to remind you that we are at a different time. We are, from a consciousness point of view, able to do things that we could not do before, because the Earth grid system around the planet that is a match to our physical brain is in a different place, in a different location. And so that is the reason why we can do these things now much differently and much better than before. So Willie is saying, I no longer want the experience of being obese. I hope it's possible to undo this as well. Yes, of course. So now, this is a great example. Does this mean that by tomorrow she's going to lose 50 pounds? I don't think so in one day, but I know I can look at you, Willie, right now and tell you, if you are able to do this, especially if you begin to understand the cellular functioning of your cellular memory and your thoughts and how they are generated and how we have been stuck in this formula at a cellular level that gives us the illusion that we are evolving when in fact we are not doing anything. And the fact is, we are not doing anything. We are not, we're still giving away our power to whoever's outside of us, who's more powerful than us, who has more power over us, who's doing bigger and better things than us. We're still stuck there. So we got to stop this. We got to stop this, this cellular programming that was done and that can still be changed. So does this mean you're going to lose 50 pounds tomorrow? No, but this means that you can today stop the process that continues to keep you obese, and especially after we go deeper into that class. I know you're in the Netherlands, so good for you. You're going to understand. You see, you cannot do something if you don't really understand how it works. And so that's why you will see how the cellular memory really works. And I think you are going to be amazed how quickly you're going to shed these pounds. So looking forward to that. Kim, when we are stuck, sometimes we are here not to just experience it personally, but also to master it and clear it for others. For example, being dominated by someone. Yes, of course. So that is why you wrote it in your story, you see? Because if you don't write it in your story, then how will you ever know what it feels like to be a human and to be manipulated by somebody bigger than you, or even a parent or a teacher or anyone, or somebody who's bullying you in high school, or somebody else outside of you. So you choose this experience. That's why we choose these experiences. We have to know from the inside out. It's not enough to just know of these experiences. We want to live them. And so you write in your story, I want to feel powerless. I want to feel dominated. I want to, so this manifests as an illness here and there, not being able to create this and that, but it's enough. We've done enough. We've written enough, and you are if you get lost, you are only getting lost in your own story. And so this is the time and the reminder that you are the author of the story. You have been subject to a cellular programming that we're changing right now, and that's the purpose of this call, and more work that we're doing together. And you have to believe that in order for you to stop this this cycle, is for you to reclaim your own responsibility, take ownership of your own story. Last question, then we're going to start with the meditation. I will be turning 40 this summer and facing health challenges, gallbladder, pancreas, Okay, at some point I understand that this is a release of past beliefs and karma, other input. Thanks a lot. Luxembourg. Okay, well, come and visit us in the Netherlands. All right, same thing. There's nothing I'm saying right now that does not relate to your issue. It doesn't matter if it's the pancreas or the stomach or the headaches or even an injury. Don't say, oh, but I had an accident. That's the reason why my knee is this and that. Yes, but the accident was an experience. You wanted to know what it's like to be in a physical body and break a bone or something. You never had this experience before. And so, it's important that you look at this experience with compassion and understand that they did serve a purpose. But how long do you want this experience? Nobody is going to come and change it for you. And the more you continue to say it is this fault, his fault or her fault, or the government or this or the neighbor or creator for that matter, the longer you are looking at the wrong root cause. You are digging your head in the sand. You are not taking responsibility as creator. You are creator. You are the creator of that experience. Okay? All right, I guess one more question. What if something something that we don't have, such as relationship? Can I be writing in my story the fact that I'm not able to create a loving relationship in my life? Of course. So those who don't have a relationship said, hey, I want to know what it feels like to be on the earth and feel totally separated, not only from connection to creator, to the universe, but also to each other, from each other's love. And so I think you've experienced it enough. Again, so look at anything that is happening. We can spend here all day and you can tell me, what about this? What about this? What about this? Everything is a story, and everything is an experience in the story. There's really no way around it. So it's really up to you to look at it from that perspective and to take charge. Take your power back and stop. We're going to stop saying because the economy, because nothing. We chose this experience. We said, we're done. We can move on, we can change it. So we are creative for a reason. We have to take back this power. And like I said, the importance of this talk right now is that, again, I'm repeating that today we can do it much better than last year or than the year before because of the collective and because of the energetics that are on the earth right now. And we will be able to break free from the cellular memory that is functioning in the wrong way in our brain. This is part of the manipulation. This is part of the interference to keep our cellular memory stuck on the same track. So we're going in circles, and when I teach you this stuff and then when I show you in the class how the cellular memory is also in the part of the brain that allows the emotions to also get processed, you will see why it's a perfect plan. The more the cellular memory functions in circles, the more the emotions are all mixed up, and the emotions create the drama, and we're stuck in the drama, and it's perfect. We keep repeating the same thing, you see, and we don't go anywhere. So we have the illusion that we are learning something, we have the illusion that we are evolving, and it's all an illusion. And so, like I said, this is the purpose of the classes coming up. I apologize, I cannot cram it all in this tiny thing, but this is but we are going to begin the work today, like I said, and the awareness that this is happening is already going to open things up for you today, okay? What about the other people in your life and their stories? Of course, it's still your story. You said in this chapter, I'm going to meet this other person, and this other person is going to have a story, and I'm going to get stuck in their story. That is your story, you see. And so, can you change your story at any time? That is precisely what I'm saying. Not only can you change it any time, but you can change it today. You can change it right now. And like I said, we are supported in a different way than we were before. All right. Can we be a conduit for family and friends? Absolutely. It is always a free will, and I am only here to offer my insight in an experiential way. In other words, I will provide this space and this guided format so that you can explore this consciousness yourself. You can make it what you want. It still remains your choice to retrieve and do whatever work you want with it. So I cannot go beyond your free will, obviously, and so will the others. So if you wish to be the conduit for other people, then you can intend for that. However, it's still their free will to accept it or not. All right, so here we go.